Well, at 96 kilometres, the Kokoda Track is one of the world's hardest hiking trails, steeped in history, especially through World War II. It features dense jungle, intense humidity and heavy rainfall, none of which is going to slow down 85-year-old retired serviceman Denis Moore, who will lace up his hiking boots in 12 months' time to walk the iconic trail. Denis joins us now, along with Professor Maria Fiatarone Singh from the Centre for Strong Medicine in Sydney. Denis and Maria, very good morning to you. Great to meet you both.
Good morning to you too.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is pretty inspiring, Denis. How did this all come about?
Well, I guess I've always done adventurous, stretchy things all my life. That's who I am, and I guess that's one of the reasons why I joined the Army, and in the Army you do things like that. But before that I did that sort of thing. I took out a pilot's licence at a fairly early age, and I used to scuba dive and all that sort of stuff. So this is fairly consistent with what I've done all the time. But I tell you, at 85, this is not that extraordinary at all. I'm not unusual. It's not that difficult. I think my view would be that when you get older, probably some things have happened to you and you get a few things chopped off. That happens to most people. But I'm fortunate that it hasn't affected my mobility. And when you find it gets a bit harder, you should just train more, not less.
Wow.
Agreed.
So good. You mentioned you're a former serviceman. The Kokoda Track holds a very important part in history. Is that part of the reason you particularly want to walk it?
Yes, it is. When I was a junior officer, we had to pass exams in military history, and I studied those campaigns very carefully and the tactics. But I'm very keen to get to Isharava, which is a very important. There's a memorial there which I prize very highly, and it was the place where we made our first serious stand against the advancing Japanese. And so, yeah, that's...
Yes.
I was lucky enough to walk Kokoda actually in 2011 to raise money and awareness of breast cancer care in WA, a charity, an amazing charity. And I know exactly what you're talking about, all of those amazing places that you go to, and you just honour the servicemen that were there, the incredible sacrifice they made. Yes. Maria, what sort of training has been going in? You're going to be doing the trail as well. How have you been preparing for it?
Absolutely. Well, actually, Denis has prepared a year-long training program for us where we're going on walks every Sunday or so around the bay with some of our staff and students, and other patients will be joining us. So basically in the clinic we do a lot of weightlifting exercise, but outside of the clinic on the walks we'll be adding the aerobic component.
Wow, I didn't carry my own pack. I think that's a disclaimer as well, to be like, okay, we walked with little backpacks, but it's quite grueling, and the humidity as well, and the terrain. It's a spectacular walk. What are you prepared for, Denis? What are you prepared to see?
Well, I'm looking forward to the experience. Quite frankly, one of the things that I'm keen on is interacting with the Indigenous porters. They have a meaningful part in our history, and quite apart from that, the scenery is spectacular, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a challenge, and quite frankly, I don't think it's that big deal. People are saying, "Oh, you're 85." It's just not a big deal.
Oh, we're sorry for being impressed, Denis. But what made you want to connect with Maria in the clinic in particular in your preparation for this?
Well, I guess over the years, particularly after I left the Army, I've been to quite a few different gyms, and during COVID we went into a bit of a holding pattern. Yes. And I was looking for someone who would look after me after that, and so I spoke to an exercise physiologist, and he said, "Oh, look, we just haven't got what you're after. Go to the Centre of Strong Medicine. They are fantastic." And so I went there and I said, "I'm looking for an opportunity to be mobile and active in my older age." And they said, "Well, this is the place for you." And we haven't looked back.
That's brilliant.
I guess I had my knees replaced about 10 years ago, and I set myself a goal of doing Kokoda within 3 years of then. and I spoke to some friends, and none of them were particularly interested. One was, but he couldn't do it. So I was on
You're
my
on your
own a
own,
bit.
Denis.
And after having done the introductory bit with Maria, you get a very thorough assessment at this centre. And so Florian said to me, well, what's your goal? And I sort of said, well, I'd like to do Kokoda in 3 years for me. And he grabbed that immediately. So now we've got 10 of us
10
going.
of us going.
Wow, great.
Wow.
It's
Some of them 25, some of them 85.
Group.
Awesome.
Oh,
Putting your knees through their
Couple of
paces.
new knees.
It's going to be great.
Fantastic. The work
Break
you
them
do.
in.
Dennis,
right.
we are going to check in with you after you've done the walk, so we're going to keep in contact. Good luck to you and Maria
Take
for the walk.
lots of
Really
video.
amazing the work that you're doing. And
Thank you.
You know what? You might not think you're incredible, but we think you're bloody awesome.
Very kind, Joe. I must say, Maria's the enabler. Without Maria's... I mean, this is seriously science-based exercise, and without that, I wouldn't be doing it. I could not thank Maria and the centre more earnestly for what they've done for me.
Oh,
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Well, enjoy it. That's all we
Thank
can
you.
say.
Yeah.